Mai Xiaowen, hopefully I pronounced that right, codename Hackclaw, is part of the Recon class of operators, and in today's video we are going to go over her weapon selection, abilities, and playstyle. As far as I remember, you do need to complete a few missions to unlock Hackclaw, but it's been so long since I've unlocked her, and I didn't really find any information on the unlock criteria for her right now. If you happen to know, leave it in the comment section down below. It would be very appreciated. So Hackclaw, being a part of the Recon class, has access to 8 assault rifles, 7 marksman rifles, 4 sniper rifles, 3 shotguns, and 3 submachine guns. Now let's get into Hackclaw's abilities. Her passive is called Silent Step. This ability provides increased movement speed when crouching or silently walking, which you can only do in operations, and it also produces less noise while moving in either of these ways. So a pretty straightforward ability overall, and I would say it's probably more useful in operations than it is in warfare, because as far as I know, there's not a whole lot of people that just crouch walk across the map or crouch walk at all. So moving on to Hackclaw's active abilities. Her first one is a throwable, which is the data knife. Now this little thing can one-shot any enemy no matter what, but it also hacks into enemy electronics within a 10-meter range, essentially disabling them, as well as any operator abilities, which can be very helpful in a lot of different situations, such as preparing for a push, defending an objective with enemies pushing you, or even disabling vehicle abilities such as the oh-so-annoying active defense system. This makes the data knife an incredibly useful tool, especially if you can coordinate with teammates. You can essentially take down a tank or armored vehicle very quickly when properly setting up with engineers and or an assault operator like Viren. The knife itself must be resupplied with ammo boxes or resupply stations, but you can spawn with 2 and can replenish up to that same amount. And I must say there's nothing quite as satisfying as getting a kill with a throwable knife. Her next ability is the Flash Drone. This ability is pretty simple. It produces a blinding flash of light whenever it comes into contact with enemies that are within range. I've attempted to somewhat measure the range but haven't been successful, but it seems like it works within about 5 meters. Feel free to chime in about this in the comments. The downside of the Flash Drone is that it can be shot down by enemies, rendering it completely useless. Upon emitting the blinding flash, the enemy is blinded for about 5 seconds, albeit I'm also not 100% sure on that. And even if the enemy is not 100% full flash, they'll still put their hands up, preventing them from aiming down sight for a brief period. The flash drone can be useful in a lot of situations as well, but it can also very easily be shot down. So you really want to try and use this ideally in a situation in which enemies are just not aware that you're going to launch a drone, or they're already fighting and busy with something else, which allows you to launch the drone and hopefully not attract any attention to it. The drone does replenish its charge over a 45-second period once deployed, so you don't need to resupply at nearby stations or ammo boxes. Her last ability is called Signal Decoder. Hackclaw pulls out a handheld, what seems like gaming device, and activates it. The device periodically scans up to 6 enemies within a 60-meter range and draws lines to them in your HUD. The color of the line will change based on how close the enemy is, white being the furthest, yellow being somewhat close, and red being extremely close. Enemy players do get an audio cue whenever you are getting close to them, so just be aware of that. Something neat that you can do is combine her signal decoder ability with her flash drone. Simply aim at one of the signal decoder lines and deploy the drone. It will track that line until it reaches the enemy and flash them. Small caveat though, with this ability combination, it feels somewhat finicky and the flash drone doesn't always toggle and track on an enemy line. Sometimes it'll just go as it would usually, but that might simply be poor execution on my part. You do need to be careful when using the signal decoder ability because the animation takes a few seconds. You really don't want to be activating the decoder mid-firefight or when you're about to push or about to be pushed, as it will probably result in you dying. This ability can be very interesting when you think there's an enemy nearby or to figure out where enemies are hiding on a contested objective, allowing you to be able to prepare and flank accordingly if need be. As for gadgets, Hackclaw has access to a total of 3 gadgets: the respawn beacon, laser indicator, and claymore mine. I personally find that the respawn beacon is the best gadget, unless you're on a vehicle-heavy map that is being dominated by enemy helicopter pilots, in which case the laser indicator is super handy. It can also obviously laze armored vehicles that are on the ground, but obviously the laser indicator is only really good if teammates are willing to work with you to take down the enemy vehicles and helicopters. Even though Hackclaw is classified as a recon, I feel like a lot of her abilities work best when playing her more aggressively. or as a flanking style operator. She has access to weapons that do very well in close quarter engagements, and that's pretty much my preferred playstyle with Hackclaw. I don't really feel like she's worth using at longer ranges. If I were to play at longer ranges with like a DMR or a sniper rifle, I'd probably just go for Luna, because every time you hit somebody they get spotted very briefly, but at least it alerts your teammates around that person that they are there. As for Hackclaw, yeah, it's just way better when you're playing more aggressively. And while I don't play operations, I've heard that she is much better in that mode than in warfare. Overall, Hackclaw is a solid operator with some pretty decent abilities that can be even better when combined with teammates that you can coordinate with. So that covers my Hackclaw operator guide. If you think I missed anything or you have any interesting strategies you use when playing with her, share it in the comment section down below. I love getting other players' takes on stuff like this. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.